Ready? Mm-hmm. Greg, tell me who Portillo the Wiener dog was.
Portillo the Wiener dog was my first son. Those 17 years, are the backbone and foundation and action of everything everyone knows me for. He's very, very much in the DNA of who I am. The history of Portillo the Wiener Dog Theses and Manatee is the genesis of Kinda Funny. I had been at IGN for quite some time and wanted something that was my own. I wanted my own creative outlet. I wanted something where I could come home, work on something and not have to worry about someone else's approval or someone else being in the mix with it before I would eventually find YouTube and start the Game Over Greggy channel and then watch that blossom into what Kinda Funny is now. And one of the things I tried was writing a children's manuscript. And even though I had no kids at the time, and at the time had no plans on ever having one, I thought there was a space to write a children's book that was about Portillo, obviously, but tackling something beyond cow goes moo, pig goes oink. Well, there'd probably be a fun series that could entertain adults and in some way teach children a little bit about something that isn't your usual barnyard animal. And I thought about a manatee and thought about sea creatures and thought about little Porty and how that would be very different than anything he knew, and so that's where I went. And so the manuscript sat on flash drives, emails, PDFs, just sitting around doing nothing until, of course, we lost Porty. 2022, Porty passed away just 6 months after my son was born. And when that happened, obviously, there was suddenly a lot of nostalgia and a lot of navel gazing and a lot of looking back at old photos and trying to celebrate his life while also mourning him. You were falling in love with him just like I was. And that meant that his passing would hit you as hard as it hit me. So it was, oh wait, I have this thing that I've never done anything with. So I thought, why not publish the PDF? Let everybody come see it, let everybody see what in some ways is the genesis and the DNA of Kinda Funny. And we were lucky enough, of course, that in the community we have Josh Strickland, who was already doing so many great doodles of little Greggy and little Porty. And he really saw some of this and started doing a few little sketches and things like that he liked and trying to bring some of those pages to life just for fun. And then we were lucky enough to have a couple Kinda Funny best friends from across the pond hit us up and say, hey, we work at a small book publishing label, and if you wanted to, we'd love to help make this book a reality. When we let Porty go, the first thing I did was go into the basement in my office and grab this little knit Porty that a fan had done. And I carried him around for quite a while, in a very lost way. In a way I hadn't done with a toy or a stuffed animal, since childhood. But picking up the book was like the physical manifestation of losing him again. And so, there's so much pride in making the book and seeing Josh's art and seeing how, Kinda Funny behind the scenes of the book publishers and everybody who's come together to make it. And then I bring it home and I, for some reason, think I'm gonna be able to read it and not break down, right? And sit there and read it to Ben as his bedtime story. I can do pretty well reading it now. I've read it a few other times because Ben likes it, which is good. He's got his endorsement. This has been such a journey on our end to get to this point. So to be on the verge of finally announcing this book and showing it, I am so excited for the community to see it, to share it with their kids, their nephews, their nieces, the neighbor next door, whoever it may be. Portillo is a very special dog. I am such an unremarkable person. I've been able to have such a special impact on so many people's lives. To see Porty have that impact on people, whether it be they want to buy a book or they want to have a dachshund, or when they run into other people with dachshunds. I hear this story all the time that they start talking about Porty as if they had ever puppy sat him. They just knew him so well, and people would be like, oh, did you have a dachshund? He's like, no, my friend did. And that's the thing, Porty was everybody's friend. And so I'm excited that now everybody can have a physical manifestation of him in their house.